Welcome back, guys. Sorry, I'm just choosing a better image of the guy I'm trying to look for. Yeah, this is better. In a way, I guess. Yeah, who cares? Sorry. I'm gonna have music in the background, because why not? This is all the girls are saying. And this is gonna be, what if Deku had, well, I don't know what to really name it. It's, it's like, what if Deku had a girlfriend that was kind of annoying, I guess. And we're gonna start, this is what Izuku's gonna look like. He's gonna be born with a quirk. His quirk is, just his dad's quirk, I guess. So Bakugo didn't really bully him. And during high school, he met this girl. The girl had purple eyes and black hair, right? And she likes Deku, but Deku doesn't like her like that. And for some reason, she keeps trying to pest with him. She thinks that she keeps just trying to affection with him. Let's say one day during class, they were sitting by each other, and the class just ended. And with Deku's fire, he likes making horns with his on his head, right? And people time to time just call him the devil, or call him the Diablo, or whatever, right? And they usually don't just really don't mess around with Deku that much, right? And this girl just kind of bothers him. And when class ended one day, he was just trying to leave, and when he forgot something in the class, he had to go back, and he closed the door behind him, and then he saw the girl, and she was just staring at him. He grabbed what he wanted and left. And Deku had a job. It was to be a lifeguard at the school. And this girl would pest him about it, right? She would try to always stay around him. And for some reason, Deku always sees her like they're little angels or something. But he always sees it. And someone important to him died. Inko died. She killed herself. And Deku's eyes have a weird mixture of him. And this girl was being annoying with it. She just kept trying to push him. And when actually, I probably said Bakugo still bullies him, but he doesn't. Bakugo sees this and tries to always hang out with him, right? And Deku had to be like a yearbook person to give out their yearbooks, because this was the last year before they went to college and stuff. And Deku had his horns out then, because he just usually made horns with fire, like I said. And he had those out. And really, in reality, a new girl came. And I'm gonna add Zero too, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know what her name is, so I'm just gonna call her Zero. So yeah, sorry, I'm picking up my dog. And yeah. Sorry, I'm choosing a different song. Anyways, where was I? And she came by, and Izuku had a little notebook. And she tried to, no, let's say Zero gave him a little notebook or something. And he was looking through it, and she saw it, or this girl saw it, and, God, this is loud, hold up. Sorry. And the girl tried to steal it from him, to see what it was, but he was just holding it back, or she couldn't, right? And she gave up, and Izuku is just annoyed. And at the end of the day, he started walking, right? And he went to the pool to lifeguard because it was his duty. And Zero was there, and so was this girl. I should probably give this girl a name. Let's call her Rio. No, let's call her Zoe or Sophia, whatever. Let's just call her Zoe. And Zoe usually just played, and Izuku would pay attention to her, but also pay attention to everyone else. And let's say Zero came that day and she saw him, and she just sat beside him. And he said, "Oh, hello, Zero." And Sophie noticed this, and she got out of the water and said, "Who's this, Zuko?" And he says, "Oh, this is the new girl that came, Zero." And Zero said, "Hello." Right, and Zero's quirk is going to be, well, how do I say this? It's like she could manifest hands, I guess you could say, in a way. Or, like, she can manifest a lot of things, let's say. She can manifest, like, swords, but they're really big and stuff. So, yeah. And Zero has horns on her head, like, of course, and has pink hair. Pretty much it's just Zero, like. So, yeah. And this girl keeps pesting Deku, but Zero just sits with him and just hangs out with him, usually. And let's say it's 3 months before. We're gonna do a time skip in it now. It's 3 months before. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Okay, I think. Nope. Sorry about that. Anyways, where was I? And it's 3 months before they graduate for college, and they got to choose. They just had to choose which school they want to go to, and everyone knows that Izuku's actually pretty strong, right? And pretty much Izuku, Zero, Yui, or Sophia, and Bakugo chose UA. I should probably say what Sophia's quirk is real quick. Her quirk's going to be let's do water manipulation. Okay. So yeah. And sorry, hold up. There we go. And Izuku had two quirks, let's say. And one was if he had this ring on him always, and if he took it off, a blade would appear. He usually just keeps it on him. And a lot of people don't really know about this. And Izuku listens to music a lot. And let's say the song that you hear right now, if you could hear it, is the song that he's listened to a lot, and the one that you heard in the beginning. Right? So yeah. And Izuku's usually cautious a lot. And stuff. Sorry. And when the teacher said everyone's names that wanted to go to UA, people started talking about how it's very hard to. And Bakugo knew that Izuku was strong, right? And Bakugo actually trained with his. And yeah, Bakugo was really good friends with Izuku. And Izuku was kind of a little punk time to time. If he was annoyed, he would say it. He would have shown it, right? And yeah, shut up. And Izuku. Now we're gonna time skip to the last day of school, and Sophie tried to just stay with him for graduation, but Zero was always there with him. Zero was really good with hanging out with Izuku, and Zero likes Izuku, But Izuku doesn't really care about relationships right now. He just cares about really just trying to get through. Right? And Izuku kind of relaxed a little bit during the last day. And yeah. And Izuku was just wearing his uniform. They turned it in, so he had regular clothes on then. Right? And hold on. I don't know what I'm looking for right now. Here. In a way, I guess. Never mind, this is not what I was looking for. Go back to the image I just had. There it is. I guess it's blackish here. Anyways. Oh my god, so mad. Sorry. Anyways. In Izuku, for UA, it's to 10 months. So he's been training with Bakugo, and let's say Zero one day found them at Bodega Beach, training and sparring with each other. And Zero saw that Bakugo was about to use a big explosion on Izuku, right? And Zero used a manipulation to make a shield in front of him, right? And the police were always nearby, really, right? For they don't cause damage to anything. And for their workouts, they usually just move garbage and everything. And Deku said, "Oh, hey, Zero. We didn't know that you were watching. Sorry." Right? And she said, "Oh, no, it's okay." And usually when Bakugo started spreading fire, Izuku can control it. He could control any fire, you know? And Izuku now just started working with Zero, and now Bakugo also started working with them. Right? And it's getting... They just keep training, and they take days off. And let's say one day, Zero asked if she could come over to Izuku's house. And he says, "Sorry, no." And she says, "Why?" And then he tells what happened to his mom. Right? That his mom killed herself for some reason. And Zero was sad. She said, "Sorry, Izuku, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry." Right? And he said, "No, it's okay." And let's say that they one day bumped into, let's say Jiro. Yeah. Let's say they bumped into a hero. Let's say they bumped into, let's say Snipe. Yeah. They accidentally bumped into Snipe during class. During them just walking around. Because Izuku was going to get drinks for them, and Bakugo stayed back, and Zero just came with them. And Snipe said sorry and everything. Man, Izuku said, "No, it's our fault. We should have been paying attention." Right. And let's say an attack was happening, a villain attack in a cafe. Right. And yeah, Snipe said, "Sorry, kids, I gotta go." And Snipe ran into the gunfire, and Snipe was about to get attacked from the back until Zero used her quirk to block it. And then Izuku got his blade and started using fire to... Because let's say someone had a quirk that was like flamethrower and started spreading fire around. Izuku controlled the fire. Right? And people thought that these were sidekicks or something. And when they captured all the villains, finally, Snipe said, "You guys should have not been using your guys' quirks. You're not even heroes or sidekicks, you know?" And people were appraising. I can't say applauding them. There we go. Or whatever. Nizuki said, "We're sorry, but you were about to get hurt, and we also helped. And I had to help with the fire and stuff, right?" And Snipe said, "Well, thank you, kids." Oh, and he says, "Are you guys going for UA?" And Izuku says, yes, we are. And so is another kid. Or so are two other kids that we know. And he says, that's nice to know. If I see you, we'll talk more, okay? And they enjoy, Izuku enjoys hanging out. Izuku is more admired to Snipe instead of All Might, really. Um, oh, and One for All is going to Mirio. Okay. So yeah. And yeah. Anyways, where was I? And let's say they got back, and Baku's like, that took you guys a while. What's up with that? And they just said, oh, we got caught up in something, right? And let's say Zero was hanging onto Izuku's arm, and Izuku was kind of blushing about it. And let's say Sophie walked by on the last day, because we're time skipping to the last day before the entrance exam, right? And put up. And usually, Sophie, they were talking about what they were gonna do if they were in the same area, right? And Sophie interrupted them. She said, "Oh, hey guys," and Izuku's like, hey, can you wait real quick? We're talking about something." And Sophie's like, sure, I guess, right? And yeah, sorry. Oh God, I don't. Okay. Anyways, sorry. Where was I? I'm trying to remember. Okay, and they finished talking about what they could do if they were in the same area. Right, and they said, so what you need, Sophie? And she said, oh, I was just wondering what you guys were doing. And they said, oh, well, we just finished up training. And she said, oh, you guys were training? And they like, yeah, we've been training for the whole 10 months. What about you? She says, oh, I've trained for a little bit and then I kind of stopped. Izuku's like, I see. Well, I'm gonna head home. See you guys. Right, and Zero's like, here, I'll come with you, and so does Bach. They pretty much all walk together. And Sophie just followed them. And they said, and Bakugo said, so, Sophie, why are you following us again? Right? And she said, oh, I just wanted to hang out with you guys. Or just walk with you guys. And Bakugo said, okay, well, I gotta go. And he left the group to his house. And Zero and Deku live on the same street, so they just kept walking. And Sophie lived near Bakugo, so when they got like 3 miles away from him, they were confused why Sophie was still following them. Because they just said that they were just leaving, you know? So, Ziggy said, we're separating, right? We're just going to, rest for tomorrow. And she said, oh, you guys were. I thought we were just hanging out. And they said no. And then she said, okay, and turned back and started walking to her house. And Zero's like, she's kind of annoying, Zuko. And he said, yeah, I guess. But sure. Right. And Zero was just holding on to Deku again. Right. And pretty much Zero, when he got to his house, because they lived like right across from each other, she let go and said, okay, I'll see you later. Right? And he said, okay, see you then. And just walked off. And let's say a car was coming by, and Izuku saw this, and it was about to hit Zero. And Izuku jumped in the way and said, Zero, watch out, and pushed her out of the way, but he got hit instead. And Zero ran over to Izuku and said, are you okay, Izuku? And then she looked at the person that hit him and said, you need to be paying attention. And this person was like a let's say around like Mount Lady's age, right? And they were on their phone, and they're like, yeah, sure, whatever, right? And Izuku got up and started walking to his house, and she said, and Zero said, wait, are you okay? And he said, yeah, it just got hit. It's not like I'm hurt or anything. I'm just sore right now. And she said, here, let me come with you. And Izuku forgot about why he didn't want her in there. And he said, sure, okay. And they walked in, and when they walked in, Zero was shocked that Izuku had a really nice home, right? And he lived by himself and everything. So yeah, hold up. And she's like, you have a nice home, Izuku. And then he realizes, he's like, oh, I should not let you in. And she's like, it's okay, I'm sorry. She's like, I could leave if you want. And he says, it's okay. Right. And they pretty much just leave that. Then she just hangs out with Izuku for that day, for the rest of the day, and pretty much slept in his house. So yeah. And yeah, the next day they all met up, and Sophie met up with them also. They started all walking, and when they got there and they started walking, Izuku did trip. But Zero and Bakugo caught him and pulled him back up. Nuraka was about to run in and help him, but then she saw that his friends helped him. So yeah, and when they got in, they just were just staying, and they didn't really talk. When they wrote, the three also did well with what is it called? The written exam, because they've been studying. Also, God, I have hiccups. Sorry. Right, and they were just pretty much doing whatever they needed to do. So yeah. And yeah. And let's say it was 3 hours and they got done in an hour and 30 minutes. And this was surprisingly fast. The only person that's done it like that, well, Nezu had to do it a little bit longer. It was like, for Nezu, he had to do it for 1 hour and 45 minutes. So, yeah. And pretty much, sorry. I'm trying to remember something. Give me a sec. Let me think. And when Mike was explaining everything, Izuku was starting to talk. Right? Was starting to talk to Zero and Bakugo. They really just let Sophie be her own person because they just sit with her. And Ida said to Zero, point her and then, can you guys stop talking? And when Zero looked at him, he could really just see her red horns that were glowing and her eyes pretty much glowing. Right? And with Izuku, you could just see glowing green eyes, and Bakugo glowing red, orange, whatever eye color he has. Right? So yeah. And he was quiet then. Right? Hold up. I need to fix my chair. Don't fall controller, I swear to God. Rose are the same. Don't love you now. Okay, I'm good. Sorry. And where was I? And let's say when they're done, they all surprisingly those three got into the same area. Right? And Deku was ready to move. He pulled out a ring and the sword appeared out of nowhere. He could really change it into whatever he wants, whatever he says pretty much. If he says gun, he'll change into a gun. Right? So yeah. And yeah. Now, and Izuku saw Uraka still, like, scared and everything, right? But he didn't really go help someone. Let's say Ida helped instead. So they just did whatever. And when Mike said, "On your marks," right, they both got into all three got into a stance. And Bakugo got into an explosion, right, started making small explosions. And Izuku's sword he put into a katana, right? And Izuku kind of could use fire to boost him. And Zero could actually kind of make boosters because she can manipulate pretty much anything, right? So yeah, I don't know if you guys want me to make Zero the ship. Actually, no, Zero will be the ship. But if you guys want to add an extra person, please tell me in the comments. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, let's keep going. Sorry, I'm just doing something. God, I'm fixing something. There we go. And Izuku, when Mike said go, they were out first. Ida caught up real quick with them, in a way. But he was still behind. Right? And they kept going at it. And let's say Bakugo destroyed three of 3-pointers, and Izuku destroyed also three. Pretty much all of them destroyed 3-pointers. And then they kept destroying and destroying. They left some for them, right? In a way, and stuff like that. And Zero, whenever she wants, she could do anything. She could pretty much create animals if she wanted to, in a way. Right? And Izuku just kept fighting and destroying robots. And let's say that there's different areas of the cities, right? There is like an area where civilians could be, right, and stuff like that. And Izuku saw 3 civilians, and he ran to go get them. But then 2 3-pointers got in the way. He had to dispose of them quickly before he could go help. He destroyed them quickly and got to them. He asked if anyone has any problems, and let's say one of them said, "Yes, it's hard. It's hard for me to breathe," and another one said, "Yes, my leg's broken." Right, and he said, "Okay," and he yelled, "Someone help over here!" And let's say Zero came, and Zero said, "Yeah, what's the problem? Civilians are hurt over here. One is hard for to breathe, and the other one has a broken leg. I'll take the one that can't breathe that well, and you take the one that has a broken leg." And she said, "Okay, what about the third one?" And the third one just says, "No, I'm okay. I just put them in a safe area. Thank you." And they said, "Yeah, let's go." They got them to a area that will keep them safe, right? And they got points for it. And Bakugo was pretty much laying cover fire for them, because when they had to move, they had to carry these people. And Bakugo was covering fire. And then let's say they sent out a 0-pointer, right? And this 0-pointer, well, there's people near him, the 0-pointer, and they needed to save the people quickly. And multiple people started actually getting these people. Well, no, multiple of the kids started running away, except for Ida, Uraka, and Bakugo Zero, and Deku. You know? And they kept going, and they're just trying to get them out quickly as fast as they can. Right? And, hold on. Oh, that's funny. I'm wondering which one that was. Probably the last one, maybe. Right? And hold on, trying to think of something. What the hell is this song though? What the fuck's this song? Sorry about that. Where was I? Fuck. And the zero pointer came, and they were trying to get civilians out as fast as they can. Izuku was commanding them how to get them out quickly in a safe area. And while Izuku was actually dealing with the zero pointer by using his fire, and he told Bakugo to start lighting buildings on fire. And Bakugo did not big fires, but small fires. And Izuku used all of the fire to push back the zero pointer and wrap it around because he could control it. And Izuku had his fingers kind of curled, and he said, "Hurry, quick! I can't hold this down for long." And it's like the fire is strings. It's like he has it as a puppet, and his hands twitching, right? And Ida's got them, and so did Otako by floating them to run. And let's say Zero and Bakugo used their quirks together. Zero manipulated a dragon, right? And everyone noticed this and thought it was beautiful. And then when Bakugo used the explosions to make it have fire, and then it was even more beautiful, right? And pretty much, let's say, Izuku let go of it and fell back, right? And when he fell back, Zero got him out of there quickly, right? Got him out of there quickly, and then picked him back up, right? He's okay. And then Izuku saw what they did and made the fire more intense. And Zero's dragon was just attacking it over and over. And then Izuku got out, made his sword into a gun, and started shooting it at the weak spots. Right? And Ida and Uraraka finally came back. And Ida was doing damage from the bottom and trying to get inside. Bakugo was doing damage from the top, and Uraraka was just throwing boulders at it with Zero's help. And Deku was just still laying down to cover fire for them. And the heroes see this, how well they're all working together. And the other kids more of the kids start coming in to help. Right? They keep doing damage, but there's some that keep protecting the civilians from the 3-pointers, 2-pointers, and all of them. Right? So they're all kind of working together in a base control. And let's say that Uraraka gets stuck under rubble from the 0-pointer getting hit into a building. Right? And Deku notices this, and he said, "Okay, I will take her back. You guys keep fighting." And let's say the 0-pointer was about to step on Izuku. Right? And Zero made a hand, but the dragon disappeared then. And that was doing big damage. And now the 0-pointer had to keep going. And he said, "No, you should have kept attacking. It's okay if I got hurt. Just get her out quickly." And Zero said, "Got it." Got her out. And when Zero let go of the leg pretty much, or stopped the leg, Izuku had to roll out of there quickly. And Izuku pretty much mastered what a sword could do, right? And his sword could pretty much do big slashes. It could take down buildings, pretty much. And he said, "I got this." Ice slash, and a humongous wave of ice comes out of nowhere and slashes. Right? Actually, I have an idea. I'm gonna add someone else in this soon. On the first day. I'm gonna make that also the ship. If you watch Fire Force, I'm gonna make one of them be the ship also. So, never mind, you guys don't get to decide what the ship is. It's just gonna be Deku X0X, the kid I'm gonna add soon. I just gotta remember her name. I think it's Taniki or something. Fire Force. I don't know what it is. I gotta remember. Anyways, where was I? Trying to remember. Oh yeah, and pretty much, it took out the 0-pointer in one hit with that, right? And when Izuku was paying attention now, when Izuku got back up and stood up, he saw everyone was still fighting, and there's still time for the fight, or for the exam. Yeah, they were just kept fighting and fighting to protect the civilians, and the civilians are kind of scared because they actually got regular civilians from the streets and everything. And Izuku kept helping them, and then 2 other 0-pointers came out. People thought, oh no, we don't have enough time to keep these guys out and get them out. And Izuku ran away from the group to fight the 0-pointers. And Izuku said, fire slash, and it cuts both of them down instantly, quickly and automatically, right? And he said, Zero, can you make something that could hold multiple people and get them out? And she said, yeah, I could only take 10 though. Okay, Uraka, how many? Hey, you, the girl that has the floaty ability, the one that could make things float. Yeah, what's up? How much weight can you carry? And she just said, let's say, 1,000 pounds, okay? So yeah, and he said, okay, take as many people as you can, make them float and get them out of here. Ida, guy with the engine boost, right? And he said, the guy with the engine boost, push the people that she floats, got it? And he says, yeah. And he doesn't like Izuku because he's giving him commands. And then he says, Bakugo, give them cover fire, will ya? And he says, yeah, I got it, nerd, right? And they got people out quickly. They just had to keep going and quickly. Hold on. There we go. They just had to keep going and going to get them out. And they put up. Izuku pretty much could use his fire ability to boost himself from the feet, because he could manipulate it from his hands to his feet to anywhere in his body. He could literally breathe fire, right? So pretty much he has, if you watch Fire Force, he has the Adola Burst, pretty much, okay? Right. So yeah. And he's boosting to take down the he's boosting to take down the robots while they're escorting them out. And let's say they got the first load done, but there's still 39 other civilians, right? And Utraku could carry 10 also. So they thought it was going to be a fast trip, and the ones that could actually move were also walking. So it's going to be quick, they thought. And then let's say that there is still 50 minutes left, and they were all shocked about this, right? And everyone, let's say that multiple 3-pointers and 2-pointers came out of nowhere and tried to ambush them. And Izuku put his sword away and was shocked about that. And he pretty much spinned on his hands to kick with the fire around him to protect everyone. And Bakugo said, are you okay there? And he said, yeah. Right, and Izuku actually got cut in the arm. And now he's trying to hold his arm back while he's trying to get these guys off of him. And let's say a girl. Hold up, I need to know what her name is. Give me a second. Okay, so I was right. Her name's Taniki. Anyways, this girl had a cat-like kind of agility, but she had a control of fire also. And he pretty much was just doing what he needed to do, or what she needed to do, helping Izuku fight. And let's say that someone had a recovery type of quirk, and they healed Deku's arm, but it just has a scar there. And that person that just healed him was smiling about it and wasn't paying attention of their surrounding, right? And this person was about to get hit again. Was about to get hit from the back, but Izuku took the slash from the back. Multiple people were getting attacked now, and no one was ready for it. And they were still trying to get people out if they could. And let's say this girl surrounded the civilians with the fire to back up to block the enemies, right? Or block off the robots. And he pretty much... And this girl is clumsy, and Izuku accidentally bumped into her, and she fell on him, right? And she accidentally had her breast on him, right? And Izuku said, are you okay, ma'am? And she said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And he says, it's okay, just be careful. And he took another slash because she was about to get hit. And the people noticed that he's taking the most damage out of them because he's trying to protect everyone. And let's say Ida is actually taking them out, and Oraka is also doing it. All of them, Zero and Bakugo. Now there's 25 minutes. And some of the people are still fighting at the place where they have to get the civilians out, and they're trying to regroup before they could help. And let's say more zero pointers start coming out to charge, and Izuku is too weak to just try to help right now. He's just hurt, and Izuku just picks up two people, and starts boosting them to the exfil. And people see this, and he drops them off. He says, "We need help down there now," and they're like, "We can't. We have people down here also, you know." And they're just trying to get rid of them. And Izuku's like, "I'll try to bring as many as I can at once." And he picks up multiple people this time, 4 people, because people were hanging on to him. And Zero is just trying to fight to keep them off the people. And this girl saw Izuku, and she used her fire to surround them. And then Izuku saw this and intensed it more, for it was stronger. And she noticed this, but she noticed that Izuku was starting to fall. And Zero did too. And everyone said, "Hey, he's about to fall, quickly. We need to help them." Right? And Deku was trying to keep his conscience. He was about to lose it. And he just kept it and flew over there. But when he landed, he fell on his knees quickly. And he's tired. He's breathing hard. And they're like, "Hey, is that all of them?" He says, "No, we still have 10 more. He's like, "Okay, can you keep going?" He's like, "It's really hard. I'm tired." And then they see him actually slashed. His uniform is ripped. Everything. And yeah. Wow, this is a really long entry today. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to make another 2-hour video. Why not? So, yeah. Moonlight. Sorry. Excuse me. And Zero was trying to help Izuku out so badly. Bakugo got some people also over there. He brought 4 people, and he says, let's see if we have 10. We have 6 people left. Do you think you could carry 2 more and I could carry 4 more? And Izuku says, "Yeah, let's hurry." And they boost over there, and Izuku grabs 4, and Bakugo grabbed 2. And that was all of them, but now they all had to regroup. and everyone started to get hurt more. Hold on. Sorry about that. My sister was talking to me. Anyways, and Deku fell, and everyone tried to surround him to protect him. And this girl said, I got him, and used her fire to surround him. Right? And Izuku's eyes started changing to a brownish color now. They weren't green anymore. He still had his black hair, but his eyes turned brown. And people noticed this. And no, Zero noticed this, and so did Bakugo. And they're like, what the hell is going on with him? And he says, Izuku got up, and the 0 pointers are actually near them now. And Izuku got his sword out and said, Arctic breeze, and slashed all through 4 of them this time. And the heroes are like, how many can this thing go through? Can his slashes go through, right? And Bakugo and Zero are surprised because they've never really seen him use these moves. They don't even know how he's done this. And then they thought back to them training in the beach. How things got slashed out of nowhere. That must have been Izuku. And it helped them a lot during them cleaning. And Izuku pretty much unmanifested his sword, and he was done using his fire. He pretty much was just starting beating the robots with his hands, and he was bleeding his hands, right? And people are like, why aren't you using your quirk? He says, if I keep using my fire one, I lose my oxygen a little bit. It's pretty much run to buy my oxygen. And I kept intensing everyone's fire abilities here. And everyone started retreating back, and then people like Izuku, Zero, this girl, Taniki, I'm a simp for her, Taniki, Bakugo, Zero, and Izuku, and Ida, and Naraka pretty much were all defending for the front line. And they just kept going at it, trying to fight, and everything that they could do, really. And finally, it was up, the time. They said, end. Oh, I accidentally hit my dog with this chair. Damn it. Sorry. And when the robot stopped moving, Izuku just fell. Just fell and was unconscious. A lot of people fell and went unconscious. And let's say the other court areas where people came out weren't even that hurt that badly, right? Because none of them were really putting in that much effort like these kids were in this one area, right? And the people that could still move but barely picked up the ones that have fallen and picked them up to the recovery girl. And pretty much all these kids that are here in this one course area were about to get injured. Nezu said to the heroes, to all the teachers, well, we're going to have a lot of students coming in. And let's say Endeavor's like, no, let's say Midnight's like, these kids worked a lot well. But that boy Izuku, he had the most points. You see that? And Bakugo had second, Zero had third, and Taniki had fourth. Sophie had like fifth, let's say. Todoroki had nothing on these boys and girls. Had nothing. So yeah. And where was I? And when they got to the nurse's office, recovery girl said, "Oh no, I'm gonna need a lot of help. Does anyone have a regen quirk or ability to heal?" Right? And let's say a few students, the student that also helped Izuku, came in and helped. And the recovery girl's like, "You guys are going to get in from me for sure. I need more help like you on the field like that, okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And they just kept healing. I'm gonna add another person from this anime, but it's not gonna be part of the ship. It's just gonna be a person that healed Deku, and it's gonna be, where is she? Oh, there she is. It's gonna be her. She healed Deku. Okay. Yeah. Let's just go back to Taniki. Anyways, hold on. Hold up, give me a second. I need to pop my fingers and everything. Okay, I am good to go. Back to the story, and it took about 2 days to recover everyone. Let's say, and the 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 heroes that, or the kids that recovered them, some got paid, and the ones that didn't like that these people accepted money just for healing people didn't accept it. And yeah, they pretty much walked around and everything. And when Izuku woke up, everyone else was awake except for him. And when Izuku woke up, everyone was happy that he was alive. Right? And sorry if you hear music in the background, that's my sister's. She's taking a shower. So yeah. Where was I? Can't remember. There we go. Yeah. And Zero hugged him, and Sophie left. Right? Sophie was there. She hugged him first before Zero or anyone else could have said thanks or said congrats, you know? And the kids that were there all got in, pretty much. And the only people that were there were Taniki, Uraka, Ida, Bakugo, Sophie, Zero, and Habana. Or Habana? Habana? Alright, hold up. I think I'm saying that right. Let me check this. Yeah, Habana, right? Habana? Habana? Yeah, Habana. And Habana. And Habana said, thank you for protecting me when you were the one that got hurt the most. And he said, no, it's okay. It's a thing. It's just, that's what a hero does. Right? So, yeah. And pretty much lets that happen. And people were just thinking Deku, and when Deku tried to get up, his legs were hurt and kind of shaking a little bit, right? And people are like, hey, just take a rest. And just so you know, you got in. The teachers were trying to tell you that, but you're asleep. And he said, oh, that's nice to know. They said, yeah. And pretty much, let's say that they have dorms, and school started in the next day, let's say, okay? And when people were trying, and let's say the next day appeared, Izuku was already there and stuff. And, hold up, something's in my eye. And now I gotta sneeze, of course. I'm trying to make a video, of course. Jesus. Sorry about that. Anyways, where was I? Yeah. And, they walked into class, and Izuku noticed that all these people were in the exact same class with him. And then class 1A, and some people were new in class 1B. So yeah. And hold up. Okay. And When he walked in, he almost fell, but he caught himself with his sword, and people didn't even know what happened to him, really, except for the people that just walked in with him. And they said, are you okay, Zuko? Right? And he said, yeah, I'm just tired. Right? And he's like, okay. And Bakugo's a lot nicer, but still picks on people and calls them names. And let's say, finally, Azala comes in with, let's say, for assistant teacher, we're gonna have Snipe. Yeah, Snipe. Didn't forget about him. Yeah. And Snipe came in, and he saw Zuko, and he said, "Oh, hey kid, you did well." And they were saying thanks. He said thanks and everything, and everyone didn't know what he did. And he said, "Well, go get your uniforms on. We're going to do a Quirk assessment or Quirk test and whatever." And they said, "Oh, okay then." Right, and they did it. And pretty much, when they went to get dressed, the boys saw Izuku's scars and everything. Right? And Kirishima was the first one to ask what happened. And he says, "Oh, this happened in one day." And they're like, "Wait, what do you mean this happened in one day?" He said, during the, entrance exam, we got a lot more robots attacking us than you guys ever did. Right, and they're like, and a lot more zero pointers, and they're like, wait, is that why we heard that much rumbling? And he said, yeah, the teacher said that our area worked a lot harder, and they said everyone in that one area, got in. And they're just like, wait, what? And he said, yeah. Surprising, right? Yeah. And, yeah. And when they got done dressed, the girls saw Izuku, and they kind of blushed because, they all blushed because Izuku is a fucking badass motherfucker. So yeah. And as always said, no, Snipe said, since you got first place in that, and then Bakugo said, oh, nice, good job, Izuku. He says, you know you got second, right, Bakugo? And you were like right behind me by like 2 points. And he said, God damn it, Izuku. He's like, not my fault, fuck off. Right? And they were arguing about it, and then Snipe said, they both said, sorry. And he said, throw the ball, please, with your quirk. And he says, okay. And Izuku used his Adola Burst one, and he said, Adola Burst. He just yells Adola Burst. No, he just threw it, and it was a big boom. It was a loud one, and it was pretty big, and it was second place. Rocky got first, Bakugo got second, doesn't really care. And they pretty much did it, and the only person that got expelled was no one, because, yeah. And since this is college, they went to the next class. The next class was pretty much... But when they... Actually, hold up, I gotta say this. When Habana threw, she had a fire ability. And Izuku said, wait, I thought you had a healing one. And she said, well, no. That's just a method. That's just a skill I learned. And he's like, huh, is that so? He's like, huh, I never knew that you could have skills like that. Right? And he says, so what's your real quirk then? She said, I can make anything out of fire. And he says, that's nice to know. Right? And she said, yeah. And yeah. Hold up, I'm petting my dog. My doggo. And let's say Sophie was in that class, so sadly. Sorry. And Izuku, and let's say they went to All Might's class now. Right? And they were talking about hero costumes, and Izuku's gonna look like this. Give me a second. He's gonna have this as his costume, because he didn't really... Actually, no, hold up. Where is it? I was trying to find it. It's more like this, right? But he doesn't have the helmet on. Okay? So yeah. And All Might says, well, today we will be training against each other, right? And people were like, wait, we're fighting each other? And multiple people were there. And teachers, pretty much all of the students combined for this, except for second years and stuff. But second years and third years could all watch them, right? And so the big three were there and everything. I'm pretty sure big three is the like second year, aren't they? Yeah, you guys could tell me in the comments. So yeah. Anyways, where was I? Hold up. And Sophie. It was pretty much because they saw how strong Izuku was. They're gonna do this. They said, Izuku, you could choose who you want on your team, but it can't be a big team. Everyone else will go against you. He says, okay. And he said, people. He said, Bakugo, Zero, Taniki, right? Is that your name, ma'am? And she said, yeah, that's me. And Habana. And she also walked over there, and he said, Sophie. And Sophie also came. And everyone's like, okay. And they got ready to fight. And they just had to capture Midnight. No, they had to get Midnight and get her out. And Izuku had more energy. And since Izuku's costume had armor, had like dashes of armor, Izuku pretty much was ready to go. And Zero's just gonna have the costume that she has in, her anime. Bakugo's gonna have his costume. Sophie doesn't really matter. Habana's just gonna have what she usually wears, and so has Taniki. Right, and let's say Deku notices that Taniki's is kind of looks like his, and so does Habana's in a way. Just a little bit in a way, but not fully. And, yeah. Okay. And let's say that they just kept moving on and everything. And when they got ready to fight, hold up, I'm moving my dog. Lay down. And they pretty much... Here, I'm gonna put my dog down real quick. Here you go, buddy. And... Sorry, I'm moving stuff around. Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah. And pretty much, they just let Izuku command them. And Zero said, well, what do you want us to do? You could be your leader. You could be my leader. And Baku agreed. He said, you could be the leader. I approve of that. Habana said, I guess, if you guys agree. Taniki doesn't know what to say. She's like, yeah. Because she still remembers when she accidentally fell on Izuku. Izuku walked up to Taniki and said, are you okay? And she said, yeah. He said, good, and pats her on the head. And he said, let's get going. And Zero was jealous about that. She's like, it's not fair. And just kept going. And Izuku made his sword, instead of a katana, he made it into a pistol. Right? Into a pistol. And with the pistol, he kept people off of them when they were moving. And let's say Ida a lot of Class 1B, pretty much all the attackers, because here's going to be way too many students to name, pretty much a lot of the attacker students charged at them. Right? And Izuku kept on fighting. He was getting tired a little quicker because he wasn't using his fire yet for some reason, people thought, but he was mostly just holding them off with his pistol. Right? And yeah. And then let's say Zero manifest a dragon. She got onto it and picked up everyone quickly to get over everyone, before they could get midnight and leave. Right? And Izuku said, "Go, I'll cover you guys." Right? And they all just kept going. They attacked everyone that got in the way. And let's say Bakugo learned rapid AP shot, but he didn't learn single AP shot for some reason. Right? So he's just rapidly spraying down on them. Habana made, let's say, an arrow for she could strike down. Taniki was mostly on defensive right now. Was defensive. What the hell? Hold up. But yeah, was just mostly on defensive and stuff like that. Trying to listen to music. Sorry. Hold up. Let me check if I have any other. No. Okay. So yeah. And Izuku really was starting to. Izuku said, "Okay, that's it," and started using his fire. And Mirio saw this. He's like, "Huh. The kid has 2 quirks, it looks like." But the sword, I know I said he had 2 quirks, but he doesn't. The sword he just picked up from his grandfather, let's say. Right? Deku kind of looks like Shinra. Okay? So yeah. And Izuku had his sword out and was using his Adolaburst quirk to boost himself to get near. Right? And he just kept going at it. And they said that the other team could summon 3 people. And yeah. Let's say that they summoned Izuku used Arctic Breeze, and it froze everyone for a quick second. Let's say for about 10 seconds, and they just kept going. And let's say Sero, whatever his name is, right? Sero and Momo were on Izuku. Momo was using cannons, and Izuku was just slicing them, while Sero, I can't say his name right, Sero was wrapping him up to stop him. And he's just ripping through it, and the first person they summoned was Nejire to stop the dragon. Zero's dragon. Right? And Nejire is on them, but Bakugo was on Nejire now. Right? And Izuku told Bakugo that he needs to get control over explosions, but he could only do one thing with his explosions. You know, he could fly with one, or he could only attack. Simple. So yeah. And let's say they also summoned Cementos. Yeah. They got Cementos to come in. And hold on, what are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Just lay down, okay? Sorry, my dog is wants belly rubs. So yeah. And let's say the last person, they got Mirio. No, they got Taniki. Yeah, the guy that eats anything. And Taniki didn't think he was going in, so he was shocked about that. That people knew who Taniki was. And Taniki was on Izuku mostly, trying to get them off. And Cementos build barriers around midnight. Right? And it was just a battle between Taniki and Izuku. Because Taniki, let's say, ate something like that would, like crab or something. And he pretty much enhances what he eats, I feel like. So it's stronger to cut through. And Izuku's just is fighting him while pushing him away from him to get through everyone. And Izuku got him off for a good minute and ran towards everyone. And let's say that they said, we summoned All Might. No, not All Might. They're like, oh no, we ran out of summons, didn't we? And they were like, yeah, we did. And he was just pushing through everyone. And no one knew what they could do, really. You could have a sword. Sorry. And Izuku just had his sword and was just cutting through people. And when he got to Kirishima and Tetsu, he was getting stopped, and then people started surrounding him more. And let's say, Bakugo got down to help Izuku, and Habana was on, Zero, and also Taniki jumped down to help. And let's say, the laser person, right? Laser belly bean person, yeah, him. He was on the dragon, and he hit Zero, and the dragon, everyone was falling from the dragon, and they were in the middle of the fight with them now. Zero caught everyone that was falling, right? And when they saw Deku actually cut from Tetsu and Kirishima and other people, because they were just going all out. And teacher said, calm down, kids, we don't have to go. And they weren't listening, pretty much. And Izuku said, this is how we're playing. And he pulled out, let's say he got another sword. Yes, I'm giving him dual wield from fucking SAO, because why the hell not? I want this guy to be overpowered as fuck. So yeah, and he says, Starburst, and started slashing at everyone. And when Taniki caught up, he started focusing on him over and over, slashing at him left, right, up, and down, even side to side diagonally, and just kept fighting. It's just hard for Izuku to get past. And let's say that the timer was running out quickly, and they had, let's say, 5 minutes left, and they took out quite a bit of people. But Izuku's not going all out, because they're not robots, but they're actual human beings, And Izuku said, freeze. And when he put both swords down, it froze the ground and froze people in place. The people that were above it were Todoroki, Ida, Uraka, Nejire, Taniki, and Kirishima, and Tetsu, and Kendo, let's say. Right? And Monoma was trying to copy Izuku's Adolaburst quirk. Right? But he didn't get near him enough. Or touch him at all. Sorry. And pretty much they finally got midnight, and with 4 minutes left they won. Right. And they said a good game to them, and Izuku was exhausted, man. He's like, Jesus, never thought you guys would be that. I thought that would be a lot quicker. Right? And Habana pretty much said, good job, kid. You didn't do that bad. Right? And Taniki was just near Deku, seeing if he was okay. Right? And yeah. Zero was also near him, checking if he was okay. Oh, I forgot Sophie was on the team. Ugh. And Sophie didn't really do anything. Sophie just sprayed water on them. Yeah, let's just say that. And no one really knew what just happened. How Zuko just got by everyone with that one ability. So yeah. And let's say someone had a katana. And they were talking to Izuku about, do you want this? And Izuku said, no, I have these two things. And let's say the two things were like rings. And he said, what are those? He said, well, when I take them off, they could transform into whatever I think. But it's a weapon, really. And I use it as a weapon. And he's like, so what weapons do you usually use? He says, I usually use them as 2 pistols, 2 katanas, and that's usually it. Don't really think about it anything else. If I use it as a throwable, I have to go retrieve it. He's like, I see. So yeah. And I'm not gonna end it there. I want to go longer. And let's say they all recovered because dorms and everything. Deku made something to eat for everyone, and yeah, they fell asleep. And now we're going, let's say, a week later. Yeah, a week later. No. Guys. But let's say Izawa told everyone that they're going to the USJ. And everyone's like, huh, the USJ, I see. And yeah. Hold on. Okay. And pretty much they just allowed him. And let's say All Might went to go talk to... No, Mirio already got All Might's quirk. So Mirio wanted to talk to Zuko about how he fought and everything. Right? So yeah. And let's say that it was the day that they went to, the orphanage or whatever. Right? And USJ. And the people that were on the bus was Class 1B and Class 1A. And they were talking about what their quirks were. And when they got to Bakugo, he just says explosion. Habana was, I can make anything out of fire, so fire creation fire, or whatever, right? And Zero, manipulation. I can make anything I want, and it's pretty much pink. I can make armor on me, and make a sword, whatever, really. And Sophie, they said, Sophie was just bugging Zuko, so they didn't really ask her anything. Sophie was just asking her, so, how was it? Did I do well during the testing? And Izuku was just not listening. He had music in, really. He was just listening. He wasn't paying attention to anyone. And when they said Izuku, he didn't respond because he had music in. And they kept saying Izuku. And then he finally paid attention. He's like, yeah, what's up? Right? And they said, what's your quirk? And he says, oh, my quirk is pretty much, a Dola Burst. And I can control fire and tense it, or I could use it, make it my own. But the downside of it uses my oxygen. Are the same. I don't know you now. All girls are the same. I don't need you now. All girls are the same. You say that. I deliver that. Oh, sorry. I like the song a lot now. Anyways, hello. They just kept going at it. And Izuku was kind of tired. Now, they finally got in, right? And Sophie was pretty much just behind him. Everyone walked in behind him, pretty much. And Izuku, some people, let's say Habana sensed something. She sensed that something bad was coming, right? And Deku said, wait, what's going on? And let's say, I don't know, shouldn't you tell Devil? Bakugo said that, and everyone said, wait, why are you calling him Devil? And Izuku said, yeah, I know, Pomeranian. And they said, Pomeranian? Right? And Izuku says, I call him Pomeranian if he calls me Devil. And Devil used to be a nickname I had back in school. And they're like, wait, why? And then he showed him. He usually has horns on him, like that. He makes fire horns, usually. And they're like, isn't that kind of a waste on your oxygen? He's like, no, it doesn't take anything. He's like, wait, what? Then how does that work? He says, well, if it's small things like doing this, or making my fingers glow a little, or making something glow, it doesn't take any of my oxygen, because I get that back real quick. Right? Like I see. But let's say that their team finished explaining everything, and the portal didn't appear yet. Or it hasn't appeared. And the sense just disappeared, really. And pretty much, Izuku was grouped up with let's say, Zero and Taniki in a water area. No, not in a water area. No, everyone was teamed up, and let's say Suyu got hurt, and they were in like a little ditch area looking for civilians, and he pretty much said, they got her up, and Deku was carrying her on his back, pretty much. Hold on. Okay, no, hold on. Sorry about that. Anyways, where was I? And when he was carrying her to recover, to a area where she could recover, and the portal appeared. It was just one portal, and two people came out. Some bird thing and a portal guy appeared. And Ozawa said, why are you here? Right? They got into a fighting stance, and he said, well, my boss wanted to tell you that they will be coming for you children, sooner or later. Right? And the kids were scared. They didn't know what he was talking about. And Izuku said, oh, it's you. Right? Oh god, no. My phone was bugged. Oh, thank god. Okay. And he said, Kodagiri. He says, oh, hello, Izuku. Right? And Izawa said, wait, you know him? He says, yeah. He says, yeah. I used to work for him. And Izawa said, I got questions for you later after class, if that's okay. He says, sure, that's fine with me. Like, good. And yeah, they kept continuing with their day, and people kept thinking what Izawa wanted to talk about with Izuku. So yeah. And let's say that the next few hours, Izuku was talking to Izawa about what he did for him. And he just said, I just ran errands for him. And what were those errands? He said, usually things for his bar. He's like, oh, I see. Okay, then. And, yeah. The USJ attack never happened at all. But then Izuku asked, so, do we know what that bird thing was with him? Right? And he said, no, we don't. And he's like, weird. Right? And let's say that when Izuku was walking one day, he saw a guy in a plague mask, right? And he was like in a trench coat with a black hat on. And the trench coat, or this guy with the plague mask said, "Hello, children." Right? And they said hi. And they're like, can you move? We're trying to get to school. And he says, sure. Right? And got out of the way. But Zuku had a bad feeling about this. And one day he kept walking. Right? And most of the students were with them. But when they kept walking to the school, the guy was following them. And Zuku was aware about this. And he said, everyone keep going. And he stopped walking. And he said, you, why do you keep following us? He says, oh, I'm not following you guys. I'm following you. He says, why me? He says, well, you have something I want. And it's your Adola burst. And Izuku said, no, that's my quirk. And he says, that's not a quirk, boy. It's an ability. You're a quirkless person. Right? And Izuku's like, cool. If I'm quirkless, I still have abilities that look. And I'm strong as shit, though. Right? And he said this out to him. And he's like, oh, whatever, kid. Just come here and give me the Adola burst, right? And he said, nah, I'm good. I'm going to head to school, though. And he kept walking, and the man in the plague mask his back started to change. And this was in public. And Zuki didn't know what was going on. He said, okay, bud. Right? Kind of cautious and everything. And then you see praying mantis claws come out of his back, 6 of them. And he starts trying to stab Izuku. And Izuku's just blocking them, trying to get out of the way as fast as he can. And let's say one of the students told Izawa about this. And Izawa told the teachers about this, and the teachers came out and they see Izuku fighting, but not using his quirk at all. And they're like, why? And let's say one of the teachers said, why aren't you using your quirk? He says, I can't. And they said, why? Because. And they're like, why? Because I don't have my license. And then they say, well, you have permission to use your quirk. And Izuku said, that's all I wanted to hear. And Izuku just used his Adola burst to kick him away, and also had his sword out. And he cut off one of the tentacles, let's say, right? Or one of the praying mantis claws. And the person that person actually has a quirk. And the quirk was pretty much. Hold on. Hold on.
Heard you had some excitement last night. I wish they'd have picked my place, you know? Why didn't you take them out? I was just trying to keep the damage to a minimum.
Sorry. What up? Izuku pretty much just allowed them. No. What am I talking about? I'm trying to remember where I was. Oh yeah, and he just keeps fighting, and Izuku pretty much analyzed what that was real quick. It was a bug type thing. He could have any body parts as a bug, and Izuku knew that it could be dangerous, because there's some bugs in the world that are poisonous and that are dangerous, and then there's some that have very sharp areas, right? Like the Primatus motherfucker. And Izuku said, okay, we should probably head back to class now. And because the guy started running off because Izuku cut off one of them. And Izuku got into class, and everyone's like, what happened? He's like, something. Doesn't matter. Right? So, yeah. And they had class and everything. During lunch, let's say, people were sitting at Izuku's table, and mostly his friends were sitting there. and then some random other people. And Izuku was just eating, and they were choosing who was class representative. And the alarm went off, and Izuku didn't know what was going on. No one knew. So they were all panicking. But Izuku was keeping his cool. And pretty much his friends were too. And Izuku got hit to the wall and got separated from his group, pretty much. And he saw it was the paparazzi, right? And Izuku got onto the walls and, well, used his Adola burst and boosted himself to the front. And he said, "Everyone stop." Everyone stopped and looked at him. "It's just a paparazzi. If you look," and they see it's just a paparazzi that was there. Everyone calmed down, and everyone knew who to vote for class representative, because Izuku wasn't even running for it, and they just chose Izuku. So yeah. And Zawa says he wasn't even. Everyone said, "We choose Izuku," and they're like, he says, "Okay, I guess Izuku, you are the class representative now. You gotta make decisions and make sure everyone's in check." And Izuku's like, "Come on," right? And Uzawa said, well, Snipe said, "Well, you don't have to make sure everyone's in check. Just make sure people are doing the right stuff, I guess. But you're mostly the one who gets to tell people to do." And Izuku's like, "I feel like they would have done that anyways." And some people say, "Yeah, right." So yeah. And let's say about 2 weeks later, right? 2 weeks later, Azala tells them about the sports festival, and that they have a month to train. And Azuki said, and Azawa said, "That's all you have. Go." Right, and Azawa pretty much explained what it was. It's not, you're gonna still have the race, but the cavalry battle is gonna be something different. It's gonna be a biome, right, to see who could do stuff. Well, the race is gonna be different. It's gonna have different things, like a forest, water, and everything. Like, cavalry battle is gonna be different a little bit. And the 1v1s, or the 1 versus 1 person, is still the same thing. Right. And Izuku's like, maybe I should try. Izuku wants to keep trying to use the life forms, or try different, to master more of his sword abilities. Right? And and everyone pretty much left class to do what they needed to do. Some people went to the support area to get their armor upgraded and everything, or whatever. Right. And Izuku was using his katana. And he was thinking about using his life form energy. Hold up, give me a second. Sorry about that. I had to do laundry. Anyways, yeah. And Izuku was thinking about how to have a new ability when he fights with his sword. Because he's thinking that it's not enough, even though it is. And he's overpowered already, but he doesn't know. So yeah. Izuku was thinking, and he thought life form. He read a book about something that his life form could be a weapon. Where the hell's my headset? Oh, never mind, I don't need a headset. I've been listening to music. So yeah. He thought about how it was life form, and he concentrated all of his life form into one thing. And all of a sudden he was in one part of the training area, and everyone else and people were with him, right? And all of a sudden he was gone. People didn't know where he went, and then they saw Deku on the other side of the area, or on the other side, right? And everyone was confused. Right? And Izuku's like, I guess it's true. And Izuku started dashing to areas over dash to dash. Right? Was just dashing. Hold up. Where's my dog? Sam, what are you doing? Hey. Right. And he was just really... Sam, what are you doing? Sorry. He was just focusing, and everyone notices this, and he's just moving faster. So yeah. And let's say those there's 3 more weeks, right? 3 more weeks before the sports festival, and he kept training, and Izuku pretty much thought he was good, but then he remembered that there's water and everything, and he'd never really done anything in the water, right? And Izuku thought, maybe how well is his Adola burst in the water? He went in and he started to use his Adola burst. It took it took 2 seconds before he started moving, but the water was getting heated. Pretty much he was boiling the water, right? So yeah. Mizuka's like, that might work for me, but other people I don't want to hurt like that, you know? So he just thought, maybe I might have to just swim normally. And he never really thought about it, never swam like that. So when the water cooled down and everything, he started swimming. And with all the muscular that he has, he's really fast at swimming. And let's say Zero and Kaneki were watching him, and they were blushing like red, like a tomato, right? They were just blushing, and more people came out and they saw Deku. A lot of the girls were also blushing and everything. And let's say Deku got out of the water and he saw everyone. He's like, oh, hey guys. Right. He's like, oh, hey guys. And yeah, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.